Hi everyone. So I am updating from home, which is great. I already tried recording this video once from on my iPod, and I ran out of space. So I'm trying this again on my computer. So I'm home. I was discharged yesterday around 12:30, and came home and basically spent the rest of the day sleeping. I came home, took a shower, and then went and slept, and then got up and helped make dinner a little bit, and then slept and woke up and ate dinner, and then slept, and so I think I'm trying to catch up on sleep that I didn't get in the hospital, because it's the hospital. You go to the hospital when you're sick, and that's when you need sleep, and that's like the hardest place to get sleep. I'm sure there are harder places, more difficult places to get sleep, but it's certainly not the easiest place to sleep. So that was yesterday. Once I got home, the way that things ended up at the hospital in the end was not the best thing with the doctor. Um, as far as the infection goes, it's fine. I am home on a 5-day course of the same antibiotic I was on in the hospital, Zyvox, an oral form of it. So I'll be done with that on Wednesday morning. Um, and but my doctor had told me to request to have a peripheral line placed so I could go home with it and do fluids at home over the weekend. And then on Monday, figure things out with her. And the doctor, when I asked him, this doctor had been nice and accommodating and had been great from the beginning, but I feel like the infectious disease doctor unfortunately poisoned him almost against me. It's just so hard. And I'll talk in a minute about a little bit more about my thoughts on that. But so he said no, that he would not send me home with a peripheral line. And he said that I don't need fluids at home. Like, he knows me. And I said, well, I have dysautonomia. I have issues with low blood pressure. And he said, oh, your blood pressure is fine. Your blood pressure doesn't go low. It hasn't been low. And I was like, I've been on fluids the whole time I've been here, basically. And he said, oh no, you're fine. You don't have issues with hypertension. And then he said, and if you do over the weekend, then just come to the ER and you can get fluids there. Like, that's a good solution. So, no peripheral line. And I wouldn't have been able to do my regular mixture of stuff through a peripheral line anyway, apparently, which I should have checked, last week, because the amino acid, the concentration of amino acids in it is too high to do through a peripheral line, which I didn't realize that there was any issue with that. So I would have had to get just plain saline, which I could have done. I have some at my parents' house, or I could have gotten in touch with my doctor and had some shipped from my infusion company overnight and got it today. So there would have been ways to get that straightened out. But anyway, it doesn't matter because there's no line. And I didn't fight it further because I was at that point just so exhausted and sick of the hospital and upset about that exchange that I just couldn't fight it. So, which kind of upset Eric that I didn't fight more for it, because he knows how much I need the fluids, and he knows that this weekend is not going to be fun for me without them. And I didn't get very much fluids yesterday. I was hooked up to fluids until basically the moment that I left, and they took the IV out. I got probably half a liter yesterday, and was not feeling well. I'm not feeling well today. I'm feeling like I feel when I don't have enough fluids, and I mean, I'm also just exhausted, but I think I also just don't have enough fluids. So anyway, so that's frustrating. I will be in contact with my doctor on Monday and hopefully go in and be able to see her and at least get fluids in her office and straighten things out and get something figured out so that I can get fluids at home while I'm waiting to get a new port, which I hope I'll be able to do relatively quickly because this infection was pretty minor. I'll be finishing up the antibiotics quickly, so I'm hoping that maybe in a couple of weeks I'll be able to get a new port put in. So I'll see what she has to say about that. And I will go back and use the surgeon who took this one out, most likely. So that's that. There is still a good possibility that I'll end up with a PICC line for a couple of weeks until I'm waiting to get a port, which, if it's just a couple of weeks, that's okay. Longer than that, I'm not thrilled with the idea, but I need the fluids, and so I will put up with whatever I need to put up with. So that's that. As far as the frustration of dealing with the doctors who basically, once the infectious disease doctor becomes involved and knows that I have Lyme, that I'm being treated for Lyme the way that I am, that I've been treated for Lyme as long as I have been, and all of that stuff, then I feel like all the doctors' attitudes change. And there's this shift, and it's like they don't believe me anymore, they're not accommodating anymore, and it's really, really frustrating. And I dealt with this during my last hospital admission, almost 3 years ago, for my last port infection, and I dealt with it this time, towards the end. And I thought this infectious disease doctor was actually not too bad, because he wasn't really pushy about it when he was talking to me, but I think he was more pushy about it when he was talking to the regular doctor who was in charge of my case. So, my thought on all of this, and I'm going to talk to my doctor about it, is that if I have to go into the hospital in the future, I may very well decide not to include Lyme as one of my diagnoses, and instead say that I have chronic fatigue syndrome or something like that, because I feel like I will get better care that way. And I don't like the idea of having to do that, but at the same time, I need to protect myself and kind of play the system, I guess. And I'm just tired of fighting against the doctors, especially in that kind of setting where you basically don't have control over your care, and you don't have choices so much. So that's my thought on that, and I'm going to talk to my doctor about it. And I mean, my mom brought up a point that like Lyme's all over all of my records. So if they requested records from my doctor, then of course Lyme would be on it. But I mean, I don't know. So it's just kind of my preliminary thoughts. And yesterday I also, when I got home, I looked up some information. I was searching for articles on use of IV fluids with chronic illnesses, and came up with an article about using saline daily IV fluid with chronic fatigue patients. And they don't really know why it helps, but it helps them be more functional. It helps them with their quality of life. Like, it helps them be able to actually get up and do stuff. And it's not an immediate thing, but like over time it helps, to the point where some patients who weren't able to go out and work are eventually able to go out and work. So like, I feel like both Eric and my mom were like, well, you should print that out and like have it with you when you go places. So I mean, that's a controversial treatment, and fluids for dysautonomia is a controversial treatment, but still, that's an article that, you know, I can hand to someone and be like, look, it's not like I'm just this one person getting this, you know, there's these other people that get it also. So, anyway, this has ended up being longer than I thought it would be. I just kind of wanted to let everyone know that I'm home, and I want to thank everyone for the good thoughts and positive energy and everything that you've sent my way while I've been in the hospital. I really appreciate it, and it's so nice to have this community on YouTube, and feel a connection to people. And I get a kick out of other people mentioning my name in their videos. And it's funny that people like call me Penguin or Penguin 1982, and my screen name looks like Penguin, but there's actually an extra I in it, and it's Penguini, which is my nickname that my older sister gave me. So my screen name is Penguini 1982, but I don't mind being called Penguin. That's fine. I mean, I have that because I love penguins. So anyway, so I will end this here at the like 11.5-minute mark, and I hope that all of you are doing okay and that you have a decent weekend. And I'm thinking about you. And I will update probably on Monday after I talk to my doctor and figure things out. Alright, talk to you soon.